Hey, Green Beans. I decided to be a little more cognizant about when I'm violating copyright law, and so you'll find that out of all the videos before, I used to include like a poem and some poetry reading and analysis, and I had to cut that out because, well, it turns out even though the authors are dead, except for one of them, like most of them are dead, the copyright doesn't expire for like 70 years. So by the time I am ready to use that without a license, I would be like super old. But not to fret, that doesn't mean poems are going away forever. In fact, I will be reading one that's in the public domain, some of my favorites, rereading them again today because I wanted to share that with you. I actually had like the worst sore throat this past week, like to the point where I was coughing up all this gross stuff. But yeah, I had to take time off work, but I ultimately found some very interesting discoveries. First one, don't drink lime juice when you have a sore throat. Second, everyone's gonna say drink tea, drink honey with tea, and that's pretty good. In fact, chicken noodle soup, like the regular stuff that you always get when you're sick, that's pretty good. And I found one other food that works really well too. It's spaghetti. Yeah, spaghetti is actually. Oh, it's right there in my face, huh? Okay, hold on. Spaghetti was actually the big savior for me because the noodles are soft and they go down and drag all that gross stuff down your throat with them. And the steam from the sauce actually really feels nice. Like they say that avoid acidic sauces. Heck no. The marinara sauce didn't hurt at all. And the steam just helped loosen everything up and drag it all down and gave me some flavor. And you don't have to break the bank. I know on my short, someone commented like, yeah, maybe if you raw dog it, but don't like eat meatballs and stuff. No, I had like the cheapest possible meal. I had like the cheapest spaghetti and a jar of cheap sauce, and the total thing was like less than $2 a meal. It was like I felt like I had to make do because I was sick and I didn't want to go outside. But yeah, amazing random discovery. If you're sick and have a sore throat, eating spaghetti, at least it works really well for me. All right, now on to the poem. So now that my voice is back, it's time for voice training. So here's a classic, Where My Books Go by Yeats. All the words that I utter and all the words that I write must spread out their wings untiring and never rest in their flight, till they come where your sad, sad heart is and sing to you in the night, beyond where the waters are moving, storm darkened or starry bright. Yeah, that sore throat really came through, huh, in the end. That's okay. I'm trying to raise my pitch just a little bit because I feel like it lowered a bit with that sickness. And let's go take a look at this poem. Essentially, Yeats is just saying he writes to send something to someone who's sad, and this something can be just trying to cheer you up, whether you're like, what do you see in this? I see either a lover or like a friend or even like a child. But no matter what you see, the lovely thing about this is you can feel the love, like no matter what kind of love it is, you can feel the love in this one. I think that Beyond Where the Waters Are Moving refers to tears, but I'm not exactly a scholar of poetry. I just like reading it. But we've heard that one, so here is a new one that I haven't read before by the same poet. And yes, I checked it for copyright. When You Are Old. My first time seeing this too, and then we'll analyze it together, okay? When you are old and gray and full of sleep and nodding by the fire, take down this book and slowly read and dream of the soft look your eyes had once and of their shadows deep. How many loved your moments of glad grace and loved your beauty with love false or true? But one man loved the pilgrim soul in you and loved the sorrows of your changing face. And bending down beside the glowing bars, murmur a little sadly, how love fled, and paced upon the mountains overhead, and hid his face amid a crowd of stars. Wow, this actually reminds me of a conversation I had once in college, so long ago in undergrad, when I was talking with a girl and I was like, I never want to grow old. And she was like, well, part of the joy of life is meeting someone, growing old together, loving every wrinkle. I think she was a little more romantic than I was. And I still don't want to grow old, but it's not like I have much of a choice in the matter. Age is actually something that's very big in my mind when I transitioned. Like, one of the things was like, oh no, I'm too old to transition. I can't do it. I was 31, by the way. I know people who transition in their 40s and 50s, so I was just being dumb. But also, at the same time, that makes no sense because if I were to stay, like, without transitioning, if I were to stay, like, convincing myself I was cis, would I just magically stop aging? Yeah, I don't think so. Right? And would you rather be an old woman or an old man? Clearly, I would rather be an old woman because otherwise, why am I stabbing myself in the leg with all this estrogen for, right? Okay, now to the poem. When you are old and gray and full of sleep, just when you're older and nodding by the fire, take down this book and slowly read, and dream of the soft look your eyes had once, and of their shadows deep. So, what it's saying is, eventually we stop doing, or we do a lot less, and we just start remembering what we did. And then what do you want to remember? How many loved your moments of glad grace and loved your beauty with love false or true? So, all of the times that you fell in love, whether it was unrequited, which hurts, or actually true love, and you both loved each other. I feel like love false could also mean like just like lust or something, like, dang, yeah, I want to date her, but I don't know, her personality is kind of bad. I don't want to marry her. That sounds like false love to me. But one man loved the pilgrim soul in you, so he's writing to his future lover when she's like an old lady, and love the sorrows of your changing face. And there's that loving every wrinkle. And bending down beside the glowing bars, murmur a little sadly how love fled. So the glowing bars are probably the fireplace because, you're by the fireplace in this one. Murmuring how sadly how love fled, and paced upon the mountains overhead, and hid his face amid a crowd of stars. I think in this one, her true love died, and that's just sad. I mean, why else would you be sad thinking about your love? I think WandaVision said it best when they were like, what is grief but love persisting? I might have gotten that quote wrong, but you get the idea. I've lost a lot of people that I've loved too, and life can be so hard to keep moving on, but if they really loved you back, they'd want you to live a good life, right? Okay, I think that's a good cutting off point. I can really feel the string in my throat, and you're not supposed to voice string on a strained throat, so I hope doing two poems this time makes up for not having any left after cutting them all out in my previous videos. But gotta respect the copyright.